founder of Carry You With Me. And part of that involves being a community builder, a author, and a grief mentor. And my entrance, if you will, or start to this path in this space started over a decade ago. And our first, my first glimpse of parenthood, if you will, ended in miscarriage at 12 weeks. And this was something that was completely unexpected. And I was, I think, a little bit naive and oblivious to, like many out there, and didn't really understand the gravity of the miracle of birth and the miracle it is to have a successful birth and to walk away at the end of the day with a living child. Um, After the miscarriage, we were blessed with our first living son, Aiden. And a couple years later, um, gave birth to our second son, Marshall James, and had a normal pregnancy, if you will. Everything was going fine, and he was born into this world in a freezing cold blizzard in November. We spent a few glorious days in the hospital together, getting to know each other, and he looked like a little moose and a champ. He had these huge, chubby cheeks, and was just this beautiful little boy. And it turns out Marshall had a rare AVM in his brain, and nothing can prepare you for being sat down on a bed by a physician you just met and him looking in the eyes, crying and telling you, "I'm sorry, mama, but your son is not coming home." And it still can get me just imagining those words coming through. Our son lived for 2 weeks here on Earth, and we saw so many crazy moments that there aren't even really words to describe. Um, we saw incredible pain and suffering in both our son and ourselves, and our family and our friends and the ones that loved him and us. And we saw the most beautiful gifts of hope and strength and wisdom and expertise and the beautiful, beautiful people that were taking care of us and our son for his 2 weeks on Earth. And um, at the end, he had suffered multiple seizures and strokes as they tried to do different repairs on his brain and change the situation that we were in. But he passed away in our arms at 2 weeks old and changed our lives forever. Um, it started off sort of organically in the beginning, and I um, went through all these phases or buckets of going from times of complete heartbreak and loneliness where I couldn't get in the shower without crying or bring myself to go out in public only to face something, whether it be a song or a person or a conversation that I wasn't ready to have that could just trigger you and take you right back into a place of, for lack of a better term, exploring and wanting to know more and wanting to sit with it and really understand it over a decade. I didn't start there months out after loss. Let me be very clear about that. But that in time, I would literally have people showing up at my doorstep at home and fall into my arms crying, sharing that they had just lost their grandchild, or that they had lost a child, or that they had just miscarried, or their best friend was going through a difficult decision. I knew I wanted to connect with other parents going through this. I knew I had so much to share and so much that I had leaned into and really worked to unpack and to try to find the best possible language to describe it and to try to add a bit of a roadmap or a bit of a light for parents in this time of darkness to say, I can't take your pain away from you. But what I can do is shed a little bit of light on things that you might be going through or things that you might face, or share a few tools and resources